Good morning.
So we have started the webinar. So let us, start it.
सर केवल 2 मिनट जब हमने स्टार्ट किया लोग ज्वाइन हो रहे थे.
So join or I just give 2 minutes. All these guys are joining.
दुदुल जी आपका भी मेरे नाम से आ रहा है. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so we are starting today's webinar because our expert, Sri Satyas Rajashekhar Granthi, who we popularly call Satya sir. So he has joined with us. So Satya sir has passed out from BITS Pilani with MSc Honours Economics and BE Honours Computer Science, and he has joined the India as assistant DGFT in the year 2015. He is a Indian Trade Service Officer of 2015 cadre, and he worked with software companies like Cisco and Intuit for 5 years, and after that he has joined in DGFT after passing up of this ITS cadre, and he worked in offices of DGFT in Chennai and Mumbai before coming to DGFT headquarters in Delhi. Now currently he is posted in DGFT headquarters in Delhi, and currently is looking after the import policy and import licensing issues. So we are really privileged to have Satya sir with us. I think personally I am working with Satya sir for a long time, and he is really, a go-getter basically. That I can tell you from my experience. And whenever we have gone to him with any of the issues, he was the one who have always collaborated and cooperated and have seen that the issue goes to its solution. Now, one of the issues what is plaguing our industry is the issue of restrictions on different items of Chapter 71. So that is different jewelry items, specifically the gold, silver, platinum articles and jewelry items that has come on restrictions in different points of time, right, starting from 2023 onwards. So a lot of exporters had, drawn our attention that they are facing difficulties in getting the licenses for importing those items for using that for their export products. So after hearing it from all the exporters throughout India, we had brought it to the notice of the DGFT, and there was a meeting of DGFT within this, and what we have understood is that the DGFT has taken a considered view onto this, and they are coming out with solutions. They already have a lot of solutions. So what we discussed is that let us have a discussion with our members, directly an open house sort of a discussion, based on which we can always understand what are the problems that is faced by the members, and based on that the DGFT can always take in corrective measures. So Mr. Satya is dealing with this. So we have called him. So I'll not take more time because Satya sir is having limited time. So I would call Satya sir to address the gathering. We are already having adequate number of people. What I can see is that some 61 participants have already joined it. So we can start. Satya sir, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope I am audible. Thank you, GJPC, for arranging this session where we will be able to reach out to a large part of this jewelry industry, and also understand. One is we wanted to dispel the general rumors that are there about restricted authorizations and the issues that are related to it, and also a particular safeguards or particular details that are required for us to any application that comes our way for any of these items that are restricted. As you all know, you've been working in this industry for so long, and you're more knowledgeable than us with respect to many of the issues that are related to foreign trade. But what has happened in the last couple of years, the gold rates have, have been on a upward a trajectory for a long time, and this is the time we see that, and also given the geopolitical situations across the world, gold is generally considered as a safe haven for investment. So we might have been noticing a continuous, rise in the gold prices, subject to many factors, including what I've said is a geopolitical factor. And also, India has been part of many of these free trade agreements for the last 1 year, which has resulted in various duty concessions given to products of gems and jewelry. Resulted in some cases a concessional duty for certain gold products. But we've also noticed that there have been worrying trends in which people who do not have a clear grounding in gem and jewelry manufacturing have also misused many of these provisions to a large extent, that has led to a rethink on how to handle such issues. Therefore, there have been restrictions to balance out the needs of the industry, and also to imports are regulated only to the people who use it for their actual use of manufacturing. Now, then comes the question of these applications that are filed for any of these restricted items. If you see, DGFT has been very, taking a measured approach in terms of imposing any restrictions on these products of gold and jewelry, considering that there is a huge industry that is relying on it, and also at the same time it is also trying to facilitate the industry to the maximum amount possible. Whenever a person is filing a import application for an import authorization, there are a couple of things that I would request the industry to be ensuring. Number one is that we would like to have a clear justification for the product that you're asking, and our experience in manufacturing that product, and a 3-year history, at least a 3-year manufacturing history of that product, and also consumption detail of the product that you are asking for. This is very essential for us to understand the credentials of the person who has applied for a restricted authorization, and to prove that the import is only for the sake of manufacture, and it is not for diversion into the general market or for trading purposes. The import policy is very clear. Whenever a product is restricted, it is only allowed for actual use. Actual use meaning that you would use these inputs into manufacturing of a product, and it is not allowed to be just traded to any other person without any value addition or manufacturing. Most of the time. And also, this is a general human tendency. Whenever something gets restricted, or whenever there is a shortage of a certain material, we tend to have a tendency to ask for more, so that we are ready for any shortages that might happen in the future. Therefore, we see applications that are being filed are disproportionately higher when we compare it with the general usage of the of the industry. It is also seen that among the number of applications that are filed, most of these applications we have been disposing them within a very definitive time frame, within a week or so. But wherever these applications are being held for additional information, I have also come to see that the disposal of these applications is taking a lot time beyond what is a reasonable time. of time. So that is what has led to a discussion between GJPC and DGFT, by which we have said that we would be open to have a outreach session for all the industry to understand their concerns and also to dispel any of the issues that are there. So, apart from the documents that I've earlier prescribed, which talk about your history of your experience in that industry, the process of manufacture, the amount of value addition that you're putting into the product, history of imports, and your history of consumption in totality of that metal, all these things will play a major role in taking a decision. One other thing that we would be happy is to understand whether you are going through a FTA route and what is the reason for that FTA route, and whether the said import is proposed to be brought under the duty concessions. If so, what was your earlier history of doing such operations? So these things will enable us to understand if there is any deviation in the practice, so that we can rule such applications which are filed by frivolous importers, and also at the same time we can dispose the applications of the industry at large in a faster manner. The second issue that we have also seen is the reimport. Wherever we have seen in some cases of branded jewelry, we have seen that applications have been filed for a reimport of the branded jewelry because of rejects, return, or whatever, and also general import of branded jewelry for sale in the domestic market. The department has been taking a measured approach in these cases also, where we have started facilitating such exports at a faster pace, provided that there is no aberration that is seen, and a write-up that clearly explains us what are these brands and where is this how much is the general turnover of these issues, and if the trends are within the same, I have seen that the applications get disposed in a faster pace. However, I am not, I have not ruled out the concern matters. We have also taken a call that we will also improve our side of the disposal, and we'll also issue them in a much faster turnaround time. So with that, now coming to the notifications, I know that these notifications have been for different ITCHS codes at a different points of time. The first two notifications that were in 2023 and 24 relate to gold jewelry and also relate to parts of gold jewelry. One thing I would like to also inform the applicants is that please do not go in a panic mode and ask for amounts that are beyond your capacity, so that the whole scrutiny goes in a loop without concluding into a proper disposal. Or there is a high chance that you would be getting rejected because there is no proper justification that you have given for such a increased amount of gold articles in your application. Now, coming to the latest restrictions that we have done in March and also in June, the precious metals and alloys of platinum, palladium, rhodium, iridium, etc. If you've seen that there is a slight difference between the platinum notification and also the palladium notification. The platinum notification talks about uh, a restriction of platinum, which is less than 99% of purity, while the palladium notification says that any alloy, any precious metal alloy under 7110, which has more than 1% of gold, will be restricted. Just give me a second. I'm sorry. I was telling in the palladium notification, it clearly says that any precious metal with more than 1% of gold is restricted, and anything otherwise is free. So the first rumor I would want to dispel is that if you are importing an alloy that is containing a mixture of platinum, palladium, rhodium with any other metal except for gold, is free. The first point is rhodium is free, palladium is free, iridium is free as long as it does not have gold in it. Now, the second point, uh, platinum, if it is 99% pure, it is free. If it is less than 99% of purity, then it is restricted. Now, in the platinum, palladium, iridium, or osmium alloys, if there is no gold, it is completely free. You do not have to file any authorization. And if there is any gold within less than 1%, still it is free. There is no requirement of any application for import authorization. Therefore, I would try to request all the industry to clearly read the notifications. If customs is not allowing import of a pure iridium, palladium, or without gold in it, I would request the GJPC also to intervene to inform the customs authorities. And still, if the issues are not resolved, we are there to facilitate any such information to customs. Now, coming back to the applications on platinum, platinum and palladium or its alloys, here also I would request the same documents or the information. One is, what is your history of such imports? What is the end use? A basic detail about processes. No, it is not a blame game for me to say that the applications are not being filed. I did not want to, share any of these details on the screen because it does not look good. See, you have filed for a product that is restricted, which means the government is looking to understand why you want to import it. It is as simple as that. Now, when the government is trying to understand, it is the basic duty for you to write what you are going to do with that import. Why do you want that import? And what is the rationale for that quantity that you are asking? Oftentimes we see you upload an IEC code, you upload a GST document, you write a one-liner for import. So this is not how an importer should file his applications. We have seen in number of occasions where there is a one line saying that this is for import. Obviously this is for import, but we would want you to clearly justify the need and the requirement. So, with that, and also when it is non-FTA country, there should not be any issue. Your turnaround time will be much faster. When it is with countries where we have seen earlier misuse or spike, we would be doing that scrutiny in detail. However, we have it is reiterated that we have issued authorizations for all countries irrespective of their status or this thing, as long as you are able to convince or clearly detail your requirement and the need for import of such metal. So with this, I'll stop my side of the story. If there are any particular questions that you would want me to answer, I'll open up the floor for questions so that I would want to wrap it up in the next 10 minutes.
See, one of the things, thank you, Satyaji. So one thing just what as a council we'd like to clarify for everybody is reimportment of consignment goods, rejected goods should not require a license. I think that you can clarify that if we are reimporting the rejected or that consigned goods, there is no requirement on a license. Is it true? So I think you can reiterate this. No, you are on mute. Satyaji, you are on mute.
See, there was a circular that was issued from DGFT earlier, where it was given. I'll just take out the circular while I speak to you. See, there is a circular which is dated 13th June, in which it is said that re-import of unsold jewelry exported for the purpose of exhibitions abroad in terms of the under ITCHS codes 1912, 1913, 1914 and 1915 are allowed clearance by customs authorities without import license. Therefore, this is very clear. I think you should all have this clarification in your hand whenever you are posed a question about any of these consignments coming back. You should be able to show it to the customs authorities and should be able to convince them that there is no requirement of import authorization. And I think GJPC must have also shared this circular widely among your members. And if you feel that there are any particular customs authorities that are requesting for any authorization, that brought notice, we will also try to sensitize them.
The second thing, what
No, ED, just a minute. A little clarification on what Satyaji has said. See, that circular, Satyaji says, although in the subject matter of that circular, it is mentioned re-import from exhibitions and consignment goods, but in the subsequent text, in the paragraph of that circular, only the FTP policy for exhibition is mentioned.
This was flagged by GJPC. We are working on it. Any amount of oral assurance in this would not help you. So in that context, you can, for the time being, follow authorization so that you are not, put to any disturbance at the ports. But this is being taken up, and this will be coming from, Advance Authorization Division about the clarification in this. We assure that in the next, couple of weeks, we should be able to, address this.
Good. Because custom already has a circular number 45.
We don't have the letter. He has already told. Let us go to the next point. This restriction should not be applicable to SEZs and EOUs. That is what we understand.
Which restriction are we talking about?
All these, restricted articles. That is only for DTA. It is not for SEZs and EOUs.
Any restriction through a import policy is generally applicable for DTAs because SEZ rules or the SEZ Act has a different jurisdiction. Only restricted goods are allowed for import within the SEZs. Only when it is prohibited, you would want a approval of the board of approval. Otherwise, the restriction, unless and until specified clearly, apply to DTA.
And also one thing what I think I want to clarify for all the people who have attended or for the members, that we have already written to you that importer paying full MFN duties importing from non-FTA countries should be exempted. That is what we have told you. But you have clarified that it will be faster, but we are telling that this thing should be exempted. That is what we have prayed with the DGFT basically.
Come again, Reza.
I am telling that the misuse, why it is restricted, because the misuse is from FTA, where some benefits are, benefits have been given on duties, where these full MFN duties people are paying and importing it. So that,
as I'm already informed, that if it is not having a FTA country or a benefit country or an LDC country within the list of countries, you can yourself see that the turnaround time would be way the other way, because it requires scrutiny in the other cases. And also there, if you are able to declare that you would be taking it on MFN duty, things would be much faster.
okay, now the thing what a lot of people are asking is that if they're importing jewelry after paying full duty, whether they can sell it, why they are not, why it is restricted to sell it basically in the market. That is what people have told. Like Nikhil Jain is telling that is this policy clearly stating that trading or further sale is not allowed for jewelry imported in spite of payment of the 20 to 25% import duty. If they are paying full import duty, why it will be restricted basically? That is what they are asking.
The restrictions came into place for a different reason. That is why we have opened a route to facilitate any of the legitimate exports, imports. So that is why when you have a restricted authorization in hand, and you have and also if you see the foreign trade policy, any restriction comes with an actual user condition. So if you are restricting something, that if you get a restricted authorization, that is by default for actual use, in the sense for self-consumption or for manufacture or anything. If you are wanting to trade it, you need to justify that, and that requires a clear approval from DGFT to dispense that condition. So it is a technical safeguard that is built into restriction that can also be done when there is a clear justification that is given.
Okay, one of the things what somebody has asked is that though you have clearly mentioned that import of platinum having purity of more than 99%, customs are still insisting of test bond and sending samples to lab for analysis. But that is a customs question, but you can answer.
No, see, there are two things. One, if it is 99%, custom should not ask for a restricted authorization. But for him to arrive whether it is 99%, I cannot stop him from drawing a sample and sending it to a lab. So it is a facilitation thing, and if at all customs decides to examine the sample, unless you feel that this is beyond the regular practice, I do not see any issue.
See, one of the questions is, are hooks and clasps freely importable, or we require special documentation for a smooth import? Hooks and clasps is that finding.
Parts, yeah, I know, parts and findings. So these are restricted. These are restricted, and the same thing goes for parts also. But jewelry still is an understandable thing. If you are asking for parts, you should be very clear about your rationale for the quantity that you are asking, whether you are a trader, what was your earlier history of trade, and if you are manufacturing, what was your consumption, for us to understand. And we, as a jewelry industry, I think you would be more, appreciating the fact that the misuse in the part of parts and findings is much more than the jewelry, where there is a significant amount of effort has gone into making of a product.
Somebody has asked, ATA Carnage jewelry license is required. I think if it is plain import, of course it will be required.
Yes.
Then we are telling that somebody has asked, we made an application for platinum alloy import with no gold content. This alloy is required for manufacture of platinum alloy for manufacture of industrial products used in glass industry. In spite of providing full details, our application was rejected.
You can give me the details in a separate email. We will examine it. If it was industrial, it would have been rejected saying that there is no requirement of an authorization if it is fully platinum and without anything. And the second, if it was rejected for any other reason, we will examine it on why it was rejected. But my gut feeling is that it would have been rejected, informing them that there is no requirement if it is 99% pure.
Somebody has asked that can we import material of HSN 71131911 like chain to add into studded jewelry for export again?
I do not see any issue for doing so. They can always import under an authorization and then export it as well.
See, from Coimbatore, it has asked, Umashankar ji has asked that we require alloy and rhodium and raw materials to manufacture gold. Can we import all the raw materials without duty? We are supplying within India.
All the raw materials without duty. Come again, what do you?
They are telling that we require alloy and rhodium and raw materials to manufacture gold. That means they require alloy, rhodium. So they require it to be put into the jewelry manufacturing and sell it in India. So they're telling
As long as that is what I have told, that as long as you are able to justify your operations along with the history and your experience into it and your consumption details, there should not be any problem. But because this is a very generic question where I cannot be telling it, yes, you can import how much ever you want. I need clear details on that.
okay, then it is told that, sir, we are a merchant exporter. We like to import old jewelry from our customer for repair and re-export them back. Can we import and re-export without paying any duty? If goods are not shipped back, we will pay all applicable duty and interest. Second, we like to apply for advance license for import of jewelry accessories like chain finding, etc. for export purpose only. Can we import these without duties? The second part, I think we have already answered. The first part is regarding the, I think, repair and exports basically. I think that is recently we have, because of what we have already applied for that, that has been already allowed, that import for repair and export, clarified.
See, there is a policy provision 2.48. You can refer to that. But otherwise, I'll have to check and get back to you. I do not have a ready-made answer for this, but I can surely check and get back.
At present, customs are not allowing import of jewelry for repair also, because jewelry as it is restricted.
This we are already, working with customs and the government to allow it repair and exports. That you have to wait for some time. So somebody has told, please clarify for 28 chapter restriction for this also license will be given to manufacturers only. So they are telling only to manufacture, but I think you have clarified that if the usage is for self-use, then they can always use it, isn't it?
Yes, same goes with this as well.
Also, could you clarify how are brands like Cartier, Bulgari, who are not open in India, how are they importing goods?
They have been importing and we have been giving. So, but in a measured way, understanding the requirement and the genuineness of the applicant. Somebody has to clearly prove that they have a store of Cartier, or they have a requirement of certain brands and they are into that business. So in such cases, we have already given. It all depends upon how you are actually of requirement and the need.
One of the questions is PVD on steel under restriction?
Come again? Steel.
Steel. PVD on steel.
This is beyond the scope of this.
I think steel, we should not take it here because steel is not under chapter 71. Steel has its own restrictions, etc. We can clarify it. If you write to council, we'll write and come back to you. Now, then we understand that application processing is taking time of more than 2 months. There is no feedback or DL, hence not able to understand the reason for the delay.
See, there are a couple of things. I have acknowledged the delay in some cases already, but I have also told that the turnaround time is faster if you can, apply it for clearly non-FTA countries where and also along with the clear documentation showing your, need and requirement along with the past consumption. So if at all, if any of these details are missing your application, kindly check and then get back. Otherwise, you can flag your application details through GJEPC. We have also started a drive to dispose whatever is pending. So I think in this week, you should be able to hear on most of the applications that are being filed with DGF.
They are telling non-FTA countries and paid full duty traders are not allowed to import parts supplied to manufacturing factories before 10-15 years. What they are telling this is that for 10-15 years, some people are like finding they have dealers, they import it and then distribute to different factories and etc. They are not allowed to do this.
So they are allowed provided the quantities are reasonably, the trend is showing that they have that capacity. If somebody was doing a couple of kgs in the past and after restriction, if he is asking for in metric tons, I would not be able to dispose it. So, that is what I'm trying to tell all the applicants. Don't press the panic button. Try to be truthful along with the information that you have so that we can do it. What we are dealing here with is gold, which is the most liquid currency that is there and which is prone to misuse, where you would be called to question on any slightest misuse of it. Therefore, be very open about your requirement and also about the history of your imports and consumption for us to arrive at a decision.
They are telling, could you share a step-by-step procedure for gaining, applying for this permit? That I think we can get from you and can share with the members, I think.
Please.
Then please share the clarification in 4.90 of the Handbook of Procedures 2023.
That is what Duggalji was talking about. We'll get back to you on that.
Are imports from certain countries discouraged or DGFT takes more time for processing? That has been already answered. That if you are trying to get some duty advantages for FTA countries, that will take more time. And where the duty advantage is not there, that will be processed faster. That is what Satya sir already clarified. If we have exported diamond-studded gold jewelry through our e-commerce platform and the customer now wishes to cancel the order and return the product, can we re-import the jewelry? Will this re-import fall under duty-free re-import provisions or will import duties be applicable? I think this e-commerce return has a different provision. So we will give to you, Mr.
With customer.
I will give you this provision. They have only, I think, 1 or 2% of re-import is permitted. That will tell you, and what is the procedure will tell you. We'll send it to you. Because this does not come under this purview. E-commerce route is a different route, and e-commerce specification is different in re-import. Export on plain jewelry is under any valuation, or is it, if it is, how much? So that is all again clarified. Export of plain jewelry, the value addition has been already clarified. Mr. Mukesh Parwar will send you a letter. That is already clarified in the foreign trade policy. So the details we will send you.
Resav, I have to again proceed for another meeting at 11:15. If there are any other queries that you think have not been discussed and also require any intervention from us, I'd be happy to answer them on email or also otherwise on an interaction. So we can quickly wrap up if there are any questions that are not repetitive and that have not been discussed.
I think more or less it's okay. Of course, this SEZ, etc., all these questions we are already addressed. So what we'll do, what last question, one thing, Vikas Goleja, physical vapor deposition of gold and silver and steel jewelry, is it restricted? I have not understood this. Will clarify for me and come back. So in any case, we'll take up all these questions separately with Satya sir, and we will give you answers wherever it is required, and wherever today we find that answers have not been provided. Okay.
So just to summarize, I would request all the applicants to be very clear about their justification, their requirement, and the quantum of imports that they have been doing in the past and their consumption in the past. This will help us to understand the genuinity of the application. Number two, wherever platinum is more than 99% pure, you do not need a restricted authorization. In the case of palladium, osmium, iridium, rhodium, wherever there is no gold content or a gold content is less than 1%, you do not need any authorization. With respect to gold compounds, either it is gold chloride, gold cyanide, or any other gold compound, you need to clearly prove your imports, consumption, and what you're going to do with it. So it only then it would be allowed for import through restricted authorization. So these are the latest restrictions that are there. And from our side, we'll also be improving our turnaround time, and we'll be coming up in the next interaction. I think we should be also, showing a much faster turnaround time. And this information that I'm asking will also help us to, arrive at that turnaround time. So thank you, GJPC, for organizing this interaction. And I'm sorry if I'm not able to spare more time.
Thank you, Satyaji. Thank you very much for coming in a very short notice. And of course, we'll follow this up with in future also, trying to understand that how this has gone.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satya.
एंड करिए ये
सब मत करिए, बस सेव कर लेते हैं।
सेव हो गया, सेव हो गया, वो तो सेव ठीक है, एंड करिए।